Hi, my name's Debe Loughlin. Welcome to Sessions in the Shed. And we're at Gorham Community Access Television here in Gorham, Maine. Our guest today on Sessions from the Shed is a local artist, a painter, and a dear friend of mine named Sharmon Toner. Sharmon's going to show us some of her paintings and drawings today, and she has a few originals that she's brought with us. And we're going to just head off, first of all, by talking a little bit about what inspires you to make paintings.
Well, I have to say just about everything. Travels, I get inspired by other people's work. In my daily life, just the environment. If I see something light, color, texture, I think I'm especially inspired with the actual act of doing work.
Of the making part.
Making part, the physical process of doing that. Because I think once I start working on something, I get pulled into it, and I push myself, and I start investigating stuff, what I can create.
Well, research is such a heavy part of being an artist. I think that the research part is the part that interests me, because that's also the process part. Mm-hmm. So you may investigate, like you have some work of the internal workings of the human body, you would investigate that before you'd even attempt to bring it out on a painting.
Well, I think I see that. I think it's in my past, and so for a specific thing, I actually start looking at the piece of work as it progresses, and maybe I pull that in from my background, mm-hmm. and then put it into my drawings, mm-hmm. especially my drawings. I think those I'm able to, because it's small work, I'm able to do that more successfully.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any kind of art, there's such a thin line between art making and science. And what we do as artists to produce our work involves very often engineering, physics, mm-hmm.
color
mixing, using scientific illustration to understand how we actually make work. And I think a lot of people forget about that. Mm-hmm. They think it's just painting, that you just go and paint on a piece of canvas. And that isn't what happens. There is a huge process that goes on before the piece is done, no matter what it is.
Well, I think what I do is I have a carpentry background. My father was a draftsman. My mother was an artist. So my family had a lot of influence when it comes to building, mm-hmm. and so when I see something very visual, so when I see something, I construct it in a way that I want somebody to look at something and really try to investigate, it's curiosity. You don't really tell what I've got, mm-hmm. In front of you, but so it makes the person stick around a little bit longer, mm-hmm. to kind of look at it and see what they can find for themselves, mm-hmm. out of it. So I do have a background in that kind of thing, mm-hmm. Carpentry, which it's a form of engineering, I suppose.
Absolutely, and art. It's
right.
art, very art-based.
Right.
I think it's really interesting when I look at your work. It is very influential of your travels. So mm-hmm. you've traveled extensively all over the world. You've been to Africa. You just got back from Arizona. You've been to Australia. You've been around the world,
a little bit.
And these are things that are influential in what you
right.
make. In the next piece, this is the one of the portraitures that you did. And where was this done?
This was done here.
Right.
But after my trip to Mali, Africa, my daughter's in the Peace Corps, I took some pictures of the women there, and this happens to be her mother, her Malian mother. And I think their color is beautiful, the things they wear are beautiful, and I just wanted to have something to remind me of the trip.
Absolutely.
And I did, these are huge, I did 6 portraits of the different people in Mali.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it also connects us to your memory, which
yes.
I think is really cool, and the culture
mm-hmm.
that you're bringing back to here, to Gorham, to show us today is all about sharing.
Their attitudes, you'll notice their attitudes are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
They do not like to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Their culture is is when that if you laugh, you look silly or insane. So
I hope I'm not going to laugh now. I'm sorry.
any picture that you take of them
Right.
will be serious.
Oh, that's very interesting. I never knew that.
Yes.
I never knew that. That's very cool. Is there a name of this woman?
She's Feely.
Feely.
She's one of my daughter's best friends in Mali. She worked in the market selling rice, that kind of thing.
You've captured it with a beautiful light.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful light. That's
Thank
the other
you.
part of your paintings that I get as a viewer, is that light. The next piece is...
Well, it's actually a woman, although it doesn't look like a woman. I think the stance, the way that this
That
person
heaviness.
is, the heaviness,
Yes.
and the bulky arms. But I
Yes.
think the women there, they do a lot of labor.
Yes.
And they're carrying children all day long.
yes.
And also the headgear, and will say that it's a woman, but the muscular tone of the person makes the person look like a man.
Well, she's got something to say. She's a hard
Right,
worker.
right.
Yeah. This piece here, another piece out of Africa.
It's pastel.
Oh, these are is this pastel?
This one's
The others are
pastel.
oil, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make it mean a little bit more. There's a lot of death in Mali and in Africa. They lose people every day. Families do. They have
Families.
large families, but people die of malaria and other things because of the health. So I just wanted to try to capture the relationship of the people. They don't forget the people who die. They're pretty much a part of their lives still. And so
That's sort of like the essence of a loss that you're actually showing.
Right.
Something that's very physical and emotional that you are good at showing that on canvas. How do you relate that? How do you get that onto canvas?
Right.
What your thoughts are, what their thoughts are, what do they feel? It's a really important message to get across to
Right.
the viewer, I think. You do a really good job at that. About this piece, which looks like pastels to me.
Yes.
You use color in very sparingly. You use it sparingly, and you use it to indicate what?
Well, depth, I think. It also gives it a little bit more interest, and it doesn't overwhelm it. I throw it in sparingly because I want the object to be the main point, and I want somebody to look at this and want to try to figure out what it is. And for each person, it's something different.